Okay, I'm starting up the stream. Should be going soon. Alright, looks like the stream is up. Hi everyone, I'm TigerHawk23, and today I am streaming, as I haven't done for a while. I'm going to pretend program to run. I'm going to write something that won't run, because this is an AutoHotkey script, and I don't actually like the language very much. I mean, it's useful, but I'm gonna try to write it in Python. Basically, what if it was what if this was a Python script? Okay. So this sort of thing, recommended for performance and compatibility, blah blah blah. We're not gonna need that, because that wouldn't be a thing. I'm sure it's a consistent starting. No. Word mode, that should be the default. No. No. Let's start here. Get the width and height. Import AHK. Let's pretend that's a thing. And now how about these would be module level functions. About HK dot total height. That's total width. Total height. Okay, these are actually the variable names that I want to save it in, and this 78 means like system variable number 78 or something. Just the width of the that's no good. How would you know that? Total height. And I don't need to do this. This is for expression only. If you do just a regular equals in AutoHotkey instead of setting this stuff, what you get is if you have a number to the right of this symbol, you get a number. But if you enter anything else, it's a string. So something like this, for example, if I omitted the colon, would be a string. We don't want that. I actually had a massive bug related to this a while ago in one of my revisions because I forgot to include the colon. Yeah. Start, offset, monitors, monitor count. Let's just copy paste this. That's fine. Forgot the total width equals HQ total width. Monitors equals HK dot monitor count. Offset is total monitors. Start lesson 2. Spaces everywhere. Sometimes you need a space in AutoHotkey, or else it's a completely different thing. Like if you want to force an expression somewhere that doesn't usually do expressions, you enter a % sign and then space, and then your expression. Or when you're concatenating strings, that operator is dot, not plus. But dot is also used for attribute access. So if you have something and then a space, and then a dot, and then another space, and then some other thing, then it's string concatenation. That was the bug too. Offset times 0. For clarity, I guess. No. that and that. Total height. Might not need these, but I don't know. Count equals false. Empty array 0. File name equals that. Okay. Couple loops, some functions. Okay. These will be significantly different. This will actually be an expression. Equals. You may be wondering why I have commas over here instead of over there, as you would usually do in Python. That's because if you do it the other way, it doesn't know it's continued, and then it sees that as a separate line. But this way, it knows that it's a continuation of the previous line. Or I could use like a brace with on its own line or something. It's very odd. It's very odd. Range 0, padding 1. This is going to be all pretty much the same. Okay. For nothing in range 10. There we go. I'm not going to need locations either, will I? Slots and locations. Nope. I really don't like how Notepad does that, but that's okay. Locations equals 0, 0 for I in underscore in range 10. Sorry, 100. Okay. What next? A couple bindings. hk.bind to bind a hotkey. Let's do it kind of like tk-enter. Alt pause. Hang on, is this shift pause and alt? Okay, plus is shift actually. Shift pause. Lambda hk dot. Would it be like this? Mouse move x1y. Is that would that be it? I think. I think so. That's kind of uglier. A Python thing that's pretend is uglier than an actual AHK thing? Very odd. And this would be alt pause x2y. Okay. Actually, tk-enter can do it. So why not our pretend AHK module, right? Don't delete the Y. In tk-enter, when you bind something, you can actually you can have a lambda wrapper in there if you want to send something with arguments, or you can just send the function as the first argument and all the other arguments after it. You can do that. I don't usually, but because it doesn't require knowing that tk-enter can do that. It just requires knowing about lambda, which is a language feature, which I think more people will know about than some tk-enter thing to handle a language feature. To work around a language feature. Alright. Def parse range. We're not going to need this dealie or that dealie or this. Yuck. Just yuck. Parse range this. And this is a function that turns a range of, stuff. 1, 2, 5, -9, 2 is 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. That's just what it is. Numbers. This is probably going to be just a big ol' comprehension. Do I use S anywhere else? No, it's just result. Okay. And we're removing, no, we're splitting it on commas and removing all white space. S equals map string.strip s.split on comma. Right? I think I can do that. We need to split this string that we get on comma, and we get a bunch of stuff with spaces around it and map that to string.strip. Now we'll only be able to go through this once, but I think we'll only need to, so that should be fine. And this line I'm probably going to be removing afterward. So, result, return. Let's just return it. And this for I_var and result. A for in loop in AutoHotkey, when you go through anything pretty much, it has the key and the value, even if it's just an array. So you don't need, you never need enumerate, because that's the default, basically. I don't think I even, I don't use it. I just want to go through the thing. If in string there this, else push variable. So we either want the item itself, or we want we want to split it on dash. That should be very doable. Oh, there's people in chat. A message retracted from Yellowman. Yellowman says, this can't be. You have a smaller beard than me. That would be smaller beard than I, by the way, because I like grammar. smaller beard than me would mean that my beard is smaller than you. Then I would be, my beard is smaller than your beard. But yes, I kind of removed that a little while ago. I don't think I've streamed since I did that. But yeah, it's shorter. For a few days, I kept going over and over again because there's nothing there. And Dan Joss says hello. I'm pretend coding. I'm gonna put a ternary here. Equals int var if dash not in not in var else something for var in s. Okay, what is that something? Temp equals string split. Yuck. Look at all this we have to loop through because it's not good. I wonder if I can use the unpacking assignment. I wonder, will it let me do that? Let me start, just because it will never actually run for the whole thing doesn't mean that I can't actually do it. Let's put something in here. Dan Joss asks, can you explain what you are doing? Sort of, maybe. I have an AutoHotkey script over here that is available at the link in the description. And I decided, what if I could write AutoHotkey in Python? Like, what if there was a Python binding of some kind? Right? Like an AHK module that I could use. The result would be something like this so far, because I like Python. What did I want to do? S equals it's gonna be, let's say, 1 2 to 4. Let's actually just do this. One, 2, 5 to 9, and 2. That's my little test. Do I even need that? I don't know. Var if dash in var else star range var dot split on dash. I know there's an off by 1 error. I know. Var in S. No, I'm gonna need to map this to int, or else it definitely won't work. Invalid syntax. I thought so. Let's take out this just to check. Yep. Range 01 range. Oh, it's supposed to be not in. 1, 2, range 5 to 9, and 2. Okay. So I can't actually do that. So let's work on that. Surukun in chat asks, what is ASMR and how is it related to what you're doing? ASMR is, I had a suggestion in a previous video to make like a talking and coding video, and it's a category of video that people watch or listen to. It's just quiet talking, relaxing, something. I didn't fully understand it, but there's more on Google on it. ASMR. It's a thing, apparently. So let's change this. Range, and do we want 5 to 9? I think we'd have to add 1 to make it inclusive. Okay. This might be a little messier than I originally wanted. Variant S for item in something. Item for variant S for item in one of these things. Okay. Let's do, yeah. This will allow us to give us, this will give us something to iterate over. Dan Joss asks, is it possible to pass multiple arguments in the s.split? Yes. Wait. Sort of. Depends what you want to do. You can do turn PowerShell back on. That's the you can have up to 3 arguments if you just call the string dot split whatever. But if you have hi there, this is a string. Let's put some commas in there. I don't know. Dot split. We can have 0 arguments, and it'll split on groups of white space. We can have 1 argument, and it'll split on that. And we can have a different argument. So we have hi as the first item, and there this is a string as the second because it only did 1 split. And we can have 2 arguments, meaning something I want to specifically split on, and the max split. And we can also do, if we don't want to say max split equals, we just want to have the 1, we can say none. 1, because I think Python 3 removes the max split named argument or something, but this is equivalent to that. So if there's no first argument, or if the first argument is none, you get the same result. So it's split on space. So that's s.split. We could also do string.split. This comma 1, and then we have 3 arguments. But I wouldn't recommend doing that because there's no need. Joss asks, so why don't you do s.split first argument comma, second argument dash? It doesn't work that way. it only splits on one character, unless you pass none, in which it's groups of white space. If I wanted to split first on comma and then again on dash, I don't think it's even. Regex won't do that either, because this would be a 2D list that it's giving us, so I don't think so. It doesn't do it in that way. It can split can handle multiple arguments, but they don't do that. Else range I want to add one to the second one. This could be messy. +1. Why does there have to be a +1? Off by 1 error is inconvenient. Dan Joss is recommending SP equals a list with 2 characters, with 2 items, each one being 1 character. He's saying SP equals this, that, and then S dot split SP. It doesn't do that. No, S being this thing from up here. It doesn't do that. It has to be a string of the character you want to split on, or none. It doesn't do that. Surukun says that ASMR is the tingle whisper thing. Never understood it, and I don't think I ever will. It's really confusing. Yes, it is kind of out there, but who knows? I have something I want to split and then map to integers, but I also want to increase the second one by 1. That's going to be annoying. Wow. I'm sure it's doable, but it's going to be messy. Off by 1 errors. Off by 1 errors. It's not an error, but it's an off by 1 ickiness. Otherwise, I would just do star map. What did I do there? Star map dot split on dash map int. Sorry. Otherwise, I just map it to int, and that would be that. We have the map. We say we split it on dash, make them both integers, and make them both integers, and then send those to a range object. What's S? S is that thing still. Let's see what this is. Turn on PowerShell. I have something wrong somewhere. Let's try that. There we go. Needed some more parentheses for grouping. And it's pretty much correct, except for the off by 1 error, which I knew was going to happen. I don't really want to call it an error, because, I mean, I didn't do it wrong. It's just, I know there's more to do. We got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Usually when people enter a range like that, 5-9, they mean inclusive on both ends. Python's range doesn't do that. So, this is actually going to have to be a mess. Okay. Let's get rid of that because it's just wrong. Int something plus 1. You can't see what I'm doing. We have var.split on dash 0 and 1. Ugly. But, I mean, now let's see if it does what we want it to do. It does. Now it includes the 9. So, not a bug, really. Show you that it works. It works, see? Now, instead of just the 8, it also has the, can you not see the mouse? Is the mouse not there? Oh, there it is, okay. When I put it over PowerShell, nothing happens. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wasn't displaying for a moment. So instead of just the 8, I also have the 9, as I wanted. Turn that back off. Okay. And since I only use S the one time, I have the whole thing in one horrible, awful logical line. See? Python. Because reasons. This probably wasn't the best idea. But that's okay. I don't care. I really don't. There. What now? What now? Save is going to be a lot easier, I can tell you that. AutoHotkey doesn't have just a native, like, serialize a variable to file, like pickle for Python. So I ended up making a crazy thing with ini files. It's ini write and ini read. It's not going to be like that in mine. Parse range, we got it. Expand sequence. Okay, let's do expand sequence. Type expand sequence. Sequence this. Wait, what? Oh, range this sequence that. Expand sequence. This. That. Returns. And this one. Danjaw says, can you try 1 through 9? I sure can. Let's do s equals 1 through 9. 1 through 9. So there you go. Works. 5 sessions in chat says that Bob Ross is a prime example of ASMR with his paintbrushes. It's more unintentional than anything else. Unintentional ASMR usually derives from keyboard typing. I'm trying to type loud. Someone said that I should put another microphone near the keyboard, but we're in the middle of a remodel. We're actually between phases 1 and 2. Phase 1 was doing all the bedrooms, and phase 2 is lifting the floor in the family room, because we have a step like this high between the family room and the rest of the house, and it starts at like the dining room is where the step is, between the family room and the dining room. So if you're in the chair that's close to the family room at the table, we tell people, be careful, there's a step, no one's ever fallen in 30 years or something, but we'd like to not have to warn people not to fall over a tiny cliff. And sometimes people trip on it, etc. And when dogs visit, it's a thing. We sometimes have we dog sit for a little dog who's had knee surgery in his front paws. So going down that step, and he's like this big, so going down that step is not good for his knees. We put like a pillow on the lower one for him to go on. So this function takes a range as from parse range, something that gave back, and a string with a sequence to repeat. So L space R would be expanded to match this. This is going to be a lot easier, I think, as soon as I take out all the nonsense. I'm going to go to the top, import error tools. Yeah, because that's a thing in Python, not an AutoHotkey. This might be a part 1, by the way. Dan Joss asked, please try, he wants me to try 1 through 9, and s equals 1 dash negative 9. I'm not going to include negative numbers. It's not supposed to parse negative numbers. It's not the purpose of it, because I'm just accessing an array or a list. It's a 0 through 99. It's just supposed to be locations 0 through 99. There's no reason for it to be negative. So I'm not going to do that. Let's see. S equals editor tools dot cycle sequence dot split I want a certain length. Let me look up the the documentation. Cycle. Repeat. O's repeat only for one thing, and cycles for all of them. It's not really what I wanted. Let's check it out. Oh, Danjaw says, but can decrement, like 99 to 90. Yes, that is a thing that we can do. Let's say S equals 2, 4 to 8, and 7 to 5. I need, I don't want it to be 2. I want it to be 7-5. Well, let's just do that. So we'd have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Should have handled that. Oh, I don't have, no, it doesn't do that. Because there's, oh, that's a good point. That would be a good feature to add. Because right now we can only have a range that goes up. Let me check this one. Expand sequence, parse range. This one, I'm not sure if it would do that. We split on dash. 2 minus temp 1. Yeah, no, this one won't do that either. Because range counts up unless you explicitly tell it not to. And the default is to count up by 1. So if we wanted to count down by 1, we would have to tell it -1. So it does not currently do that. But that is a good idea to include in a future release of the actual monitor switch. But not today. Not for this one. Let's see. So do I do cycle? Let's try it out in here, actually. 43 minutes. We might need a, well, definitely, I think, need another part for this. Import editor tools. List editor tools dot cycle. Because cycle is infinite. Making a list out of that would be bad. For something in range 10. I is editor tools dot cycle lr dot split, whatever, fine. For I in range 10. Should I can just use a range, I guess. Yeah, I can just use a range. That's an idea. I'll just use a range. Great. Let's do that. L equals len s equals sequence dot split. L equals len s. Okay. I know this is the same variable. I know. Return item for no, I know what I'm gonna do. I think I can just zip it, right? Zip and transpose. Do I even need to? Zip the range. Let me call this R actually, because range is a thing in Python. R and iter_tools.cycle sequence.split. So what are we going to do with that? We zip we're gonna transpose this, and then which means send both those. Star zip, whatever. Something is probably wrong there, but let's see what happens. R equals 1, 4, and 9. Seek equals LR. Let me show you what I'm doing. And then goodness gracious. It actually did what I thought it would do. It did what I thought it would do. I mean, of course it does. Of course it behaved in the expected manner. I didn't actually expect it to behave in the expected manner. Notice how many parentheses I had kind of stacked up at the end? That usually means that I got one of them wrong. And all this stuff, that usually means I got something in there wrong and I had to, you know, count again and off by one error, you know, with my head. Not in some number here. But it's perfect. So okay then. Neat. Didn't need this, didn't need this, didn't need this, or that, or this whole thing. This one's nice. Return. All right. Wonderful. What now? What now? Parse range, expand sequence. That one was easy. Save. This one's also going to be easy. Locations and slots. How do I use pickle? I forgot. Warning, the pickle module is not secure against erroneous or maliciously constructed data. Never unpickle data received from an untrusted or unauthenticated source. Great. Know what I could also do? Just send it to string. Or repro. And just do that. Just use ast.literally_val. And that'll be safe too. Let's do that instead. Let's do that instead. Say, look at all this. And look at all that. This is what we have to do to save and load. But here, I'm going to import AST. That's the abstract syntax tree module. And this will let us do some cool stuff. It's slots and locations, right? Yeah, locations. So, what do we got? Um, 50 minutes. I don't know. Let's get the save and load out of the way. So save. Let's do file name. Oh, we have that. It won't be ini, it'll just be txt. Simple stuff. With open file name, write mode as output. Output write repro of locations. Output.write a new line. Output.write repro of slots. Right? Yeah. Okay. And load is going to be with open file name as F. Locations. Oh, no. It's gonna have to be global, isn't it? Let's do the following. Data equals slots locations. I want a list, not a tuple, because I'm going to mutate it. Data 0. Will that work for what I think it does? If I access it like that all the time, otherwise no. Yeah, I think I'll just, I don't usually like doing this. Global locations, global slots. I really hate doing that, but it seems like the simplest solution in this case. Don't need it here, because I'm just reading them, but here I'm writing to them. So, locations equals ast.literal eval next f. Slots equals ast.literal eval next f. Beautiful. Okay. That's save and load. Chat seems to have an argument about how to do a thing and not telling other people how to do things. And Oops Doops in chat is asking, why are you arguing about it? I don't know, but could we relax? Thank you. Kind of ironic that it's an argument about a kind of relaxing experience thing. But there's locations and slots. What I could do is I could have put both of these in a list and just always refer to the list or a dictionary or something. just so I could, you know, mutate it and, you know, I don't know, like data equals slots this, then I'd always have data slots instead of just slots. It's kind of, and it's only written in that one place. So in the load, it's the only place I'm assigning the entire thing. So I think it's okay. It's okay. What have we got? Wow, a bunch of stuff. Oh, create cycle and do slot. Those are going to take some doing. Maybe we'll leave that for another time. Maybe that's what we'll do. So for next time, for part 2 of pretend coding, we will do this thing that creates a cycle. This is to basically set up something to do. So you'll enter whether you want to save it in a particular slot. You can cancel, or you can save with the save keyword or load with the load keyword. And then if you didn't save or load and it's a good slot, then it asks which locations you want to do and how many seconds of padding, repetitions, etc. And then it will, you know, click the buttons you want in the locations you want with the delays you want. I think this whole move and then wait for something and then click and then wait again will be something that the Python version of AutoHotkey will handle properly. And there's AutoHotkey has click down and click up to, you know, push the mouse button and then let go. So I think those are going to be just arguments to the click function. Pause. These should all be reasonably doable. I don't strictly need this and this thing, but that's okay. See, in AutoHotkey you need global whenever you're even accessing global things. In Python you do not. It will find them. But as soon as you assign to something with that name, if you don't specify global, it will be the local version. Dan Joss in chat asks, Tiger, do you know a way in Python to write a bot that probably scrapes the web in write top 10 like blog post? No, I do not. To write a bot that scraps the web in write top 10 like blog posts. Nope. And I think if I understood what you meant by that, scrapes the web in write top 10 like blog posts. I think if I understood what you meant, it would still be, sounds like a large thing to write. But it would probably use some of the modules in Python. What's one of them? URLlib or something? I don't know. But of course you have to know which sites to scrape, and if it's all of them, then your bot will have a tough time, etc. I don't know. So, we have come up on 1 hour, so I think I'm gonna call it. Oh, and do slot is to perform one of the cycles that you created with this function. So next time, isn't it nice that all of that turns into this? Isn't that nice? Next time we will pretend Python write create cycle and do slot, and hopefully a couple of these bindings and the simple swap function should be reasonably easy. And this will be important as well. Move. Do I use that anywhere else? Not really, huh? Could I just... maybe I could just put these over here and not need a function at all? I don't know. Actually, this is a lot less writing. Just save location or move location instead of this whole thing, this large expression. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like that. Dan Joss says, okay, it's a bot that checks Google Trends API, gets the top trending words, and finds sites that talk about those topics, and summarizes the articles. No, I have no idea how to do that. I didn't even know Google Trends was a thing with an API. I have no idea. Create cycle, do slot, the swap thingy, and this probably could have been a function instead of just, you know, a hotkey with a block after it, whatever. And a whole bunch of bindings. Should be doable in an hour or maybe less, I don't know. And I will put this on, how about in the small scripts repo on GitHub, which is where you will also find the monitor switch script that actually works. Okay. And maybe I will add the ability to have a range that goes downwards instead of only upwards. Because that's pretty key. I mean, it's not negative numbers, but the current version kind of assumes that you'll have most of them in the order, in ascending order that you want to do, 1, 2, 3, etc. What if you want to go somewhere and then kind of unroll it, wrap it all the way back? 1 through 20 and then 20 through 1 would make sense, I think, for some uses maybe. So I'll work on that offline, and next time we will continue this. So thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for hanging out in chat. Makes it much more exciting. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one.